All right, Matt, welcome to yes, right there in front of the microphone.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time, and you have 5 minutes, which will go very quickly, as you've noticed. So if you want some questions, leave some time later.
Oh, yeah, that's 5 minutes isn't a lot of time.
No.
So I will rip into it.
Into it.
So kia ora koutou katoa. I am Matt Watson. I'm a wreck fisher and a former commercial fisher. And I've had a connection with the ocean my whole life. And I oppose the bill, and I think all of you on the committee will understand the overwhelming public opposition to this bill. But it's also important to understand the reasons why the public don't like it. And that is because for a long time we've seen decline in our fish stocks. We just see it when we're out on the water, when we're going to the sea. And we've got once abundant species like crayfish, scallops, blue cod in some areas, which are now closed. They've collapsed, they've declined to the point. And at the same time that we're reaching the point of collapse, we are literally seeing fish dumping happening. We're seeing destructive fishing methods destroying our environment. And then along comes a bill and it addresses none of the issues. It doesn't take on and fix any of the big problems we've got. Instead, it legitimizes them. And in some cases, it even incentivizes some of the worst and most unsustainable fishing practices that we have in New Zealand. So, like I say, in 5 minutes, I can't break down this bill for you and talk to everything that I know about through my extensive career. But I'm just going to run through some of the things that will accelerate our trajectory of decline, and it will collapse more fish stocks if it goes through. Lowering the penalty for overfishing quotas. Allowing commercial fishers to roll over their annual catch entitlement. It's annual for a reason, because if it stockpiles up and it's taken in 1 year, spawning biomasses can be devastated. It's wrong. Quotas are going to be locked in for 5 years. A lot can change in 5 years and we need to be able to react to conserve the fishery. The removal of environmental considerations, that speaks for itself. We've got longer soak times for nets, and the nets are allowed to be longer. We have the removal of the transparency around accessing camera footage. Now, the camera footage has already showed, the samples looked at, that discards are up to 9 times higher than what's being reported. So we've got no way of knowing how many fish are being taken, and the quota system doesn't work unless we know what's being taken. And then we have the removal of size limits for commercial fishers in this bill. And then we go on to amendments that help lock in all of these changes, removing consultation, blocking judicial review, and then threatening fines of up to $50,000 for anyone that exposes onboard camera footage. And it's clear all of these things are things that have been asked for by the seafood industry. And I believe that the net cause, the reason that they're asking for it is because in a depleted, and it's harder to make a profit in a depleted fishery. So rather than this bill addressing the depletion, it just looks to create rules that will remove some of the last remaining safeguards just to make it easier to keep that profit going, which will only last for the short term. And I'm not anti-commercial. I've still got a lot of friends. I used to be a commercial. I've got family that are commercial fishers, and a lot of them are getting in touch with me and saying, go Matty, but they're too scared to come forward because of the control that the seafood industry has. And this bill serves to give them more control, and it doesn't serve the people. And we shouldn't forget it's the people that own the fish. You people in this room, everybody out there, we own the fish and we deserve the right for it to be managed properly. Because if it's managed properly, there's plenty to go around. We can have a thriving commercial fishing industry. We can have a booming recreational fishing industry. The rec fishing industry contributes $1.7 billion annually economic activity, and we take less than 5% of the fish. Now, we hear about the lauded $4 billion from the seafood industry to take 95% of the fish. Now, the economics in that speaks for themselves, but what doesn't get spoken about is the value of having an abundant fishery for Kiwis to be able to go to the ocean, catch a feed, and feed their families. Excuse me.
30 seconds left, man.
Yep. So that's why this bill needs to be thrown out, because it doesn't serve the people of New Zealand. We can start again, get all the stakeholders around the table, Because we can't have an enduring bill with only one stakeholder input. We need iwi around the table, we need commercial fishers, we need rec fishers, we need all New Zealanders to create something that we buy into that can really look after our future generations.
One quick question, Rachel.
Thank you. Just a really great submission, Matt. I agree with a lot of what you said and really well articulated. My obsession is around data. And my biggest concern with the bill is that ability to transfer catch from 1 year to the next and the 5-year limits. Do you think our data is good enough? And what do you think we need to do to get better data so we can do better decisions around each fish stock?
Well, more research, more independent research. At the moment, we use a system called CPUE, catch per unit of effort, and that relies on the honesty of the people that are catching the fish to say how much they've thrown overboard. And if we don't, for such an important thing, we should be monitoring that. But with no access to the footage, we really don't know. So you can't manage any fishery when we don't know what the discards are.
Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. Unfortunately, we've come to time. I really appreciate the effort you've made.
Yeah, and if I'd just extend an invite to anyone on the select committee to get in touch with me. I've got so much more I can share. My doors are always open to discuss this.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.